What if the greatest obstacle to your power, your peace, and your true self isn't outside you, but hidden deep within? A part of you you've been taught to ignore, to suppress, even to fear. This isn't about being bad. It's about being incomplete, and until you face this unseen force, you'll always be living a fraction of your potential. The key to unlocking your wholeness lies in the darkness you've avoided. Carl Jung, the visionary Swiss psychiatrist, dared to journey into the deepest recesses of the human psyche. He understood that beneath our conscious personality, beneath the face we show the world, lies a vast, uncharted territory. A place where our repressed desires, our hidden fears, and our unacknowledged strengths reside. He called this the shadow self. It's not a monster lurking in the dark. It's simply the part of you that remains unconscious, everything you've pushed away because it didn't fit your ideal image. And in today's world, where we constantly strive for perfection, ignoring this shadow is costing us our authenticity, our energy, and our true power. This video will guide you through Jung's most profound concept, showing you how to reclaim your hidden self for ultimate wholeness. So, what exactly is this shadow self? Imagine your mind as a grand house. You meticulously decorate the living room, the kitchen, the bedrooms. These are the parts of yourself you proudly display. Your conscious personality, what Jung called the persona. But then there's a room, perhaps in the basement or attic, that you've kept locked. Maybe it's messy, maybe it holds things you're ashamed of, or perhaps even forgotten treasures. You never go in there, and you certainly don't let guests see it. That locked room is your shadow. It contains all the qualities, impulses, and desires that your conscious mind, your ego, has deemed unacceptable and pushed into the unconscious. It's not just the bad stuff: anger, jealousy, selfishness. It can also be undeveloped. Positive traits like creativity, assertiveness, or even joy that you were told were inappropriate. The shadow is simply the unconscious aspect of your personality, waiting to be acknowledged. When we ignore this hidden room, it doesn't just disappear. It finds ways to make its presence known, often in disruptive ways. One of the most common manifestations is projection. Have you ever met someone and instantly, intensely disliked a particular trait in them? Perhaps their arrogance, their laziness, or their need for attention. Jung would say, look closer. Often, what we despise most in others is a reflection of our own unacknowledged shadow. We project our own denied qualities onto them because it's easier to see them outside ourselves than to confront them within. Another way the shadow shows up is through self-sabotage. These are the unconscious patterns that undermine our conscious goals. The sudden urge to procrastinate when a deadline looms, the unexplained anger that erupts over a minor inconvenience, the self-destructive habits we can't seem to break. These are often the shadow's desperate attempts to be seen, to be heard. It also whispers to us in our dreams, through symbols and strange scenarios, and sometimes in those accidental slips of the tongue that reveal our true, hidden thoughts. The shadow is always there, always seeking integration, and if we don't invite it in, it will crash the party. The cost of ignoring your shadow is immense. Firstly, you live a half-life, constantly performing a role, your persona, for the world. This leads to a profound loss of authenticity, a feeling of being disconnected from your true self, and a deep inner conflict that drains your energy. It's exhausting to constantly pretend to be someone you're not, to suppress genuine emotions and desires. Secondly, that repressed energy doesn't just vanish. It builds up like pressure in a sealed container, eventually leading to explosive outbursts. These can manifest as irrational anger, sudden anxiety attacks, or unexpected breakdowns. When we don't consciously engage with our shadow, it controls us from the unconscious, making us reactive and vulnerable to external triggers. We become puppets of our own hidden parts, pulled by invisible strings. You lose control, not because you're weak, but because you've denied a powerful aspect of yourself. This denial prevents true self-mastery and keeps you from achieving genuine wholeness. So how do we begin to integrate this powerful, often feared, shadow? The first step is awareness. It requires immense courage and brutal honesty to shine a light into that hidden room. This isn't about eliminating your shadow. It's about acknowledging its existence. As Jung famously said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You don't get rid of your shadow. You befriend it. Once aware, the next step is acceptance. This means acknowledging these parts without judgment. They are part of you, not all of you. You accept that you have the capacity for anger, for jealousy, for selfishness, just as you have the capacity for love, compassion, and generosity. This acceptance disarms the shadow, stripping it of its power to control you from the dark. Finally, you begin a dialogue with your shadow. This can be through journaling, where you write freely about your darkest thoughts. and feelings, or through active imagination, where you consciously engage with these inner figures. It's about understanding what your shadow needs, what it's trying to tell you, and what valuable energy it holds. It's a process of bringing the unconscious into conscious awareness, transforming it from an enemy into an ally. The rewards of shadow integration are profound. When you acknowledge and accept your entire self, you reclaim immense authenticity. You stop performing, you stop pretending, and you start living in alignment with who you truly are. This leads to greater self-acceptance and more genuine, fulfilling relationships because you're no longer hiding parts of yourself from others. You also experience a surge of increased energy. The constant effort of repressing your shadow is exhausting. When you integrate it, that energy is freed up, available for creativity, passion, and pursuing your goals. The shadow often holds untapped creative potential, raw vitality, and assertive power that, once integrated, can fuel your greatest achievements. Furthermore, you become more resilient. When you know your own vulnerabilities, you are less susceptible to external manipulation or the projections of others. True personal power comes not from denying parts of yourself, but from embracing your entire, complex being. The hidden room, once a source of fear, becomes a wellspring of strength and wisdom. So, how can you begin this transformative journey today? Here are some practical steps. 1. Observe your projections. Pay close attention to what you intensely dislike or judge in others. Ask yourself, where might this trait, or its opposite, exist within me? This is often a direct pointer to your own unacknowledged shadow. 2. Journaling. Dedicate time to free-form writing about your fears, your shame, your hidden desires, and your most uncomfortable thoughts. Write without judgment. This creates a safe space for your shadow to emerge. 3. Dream analysis. Pay attention to your dreams. They are direct messages from your unconscious. Look for recurring symbols, figures, or themes that might represent aspects of your shadow. 4. Practice self-compassion. This work can be challenging. Approach your shadow with kindness and curiosity, not harsh self-criticism. Remember, it's a part of you that needs understanding, not condemnation. 5. Seek guidance. For deeper shadow work, especially if you encounter significant emotional resistance or trauma, consider working with a therapist or a Jungian analyst. They can provide a safe container and expert guidance for this profound journey. Integrating your shadow is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery. But it is a journey that promises profound rewards, greater authenticity, increased energy, deeper relationships, and an unshakable sense of personal power. By daring to look into the darkness within, you don't become darker. You become whole. You become the complete, powerful individual you were always meant to be, not by eliminating parts of yourself, but by embracing every single one. The path to wholeness, to true self-mastery, lies in making peace with your shadow. It's time to reclaim your hidden power. If you are ready to continue this journey of self-mastery and unlock more profound insights into the human psyche, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the psychology of success and personal transformation.